All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is July of 2025, and this is your man, Viet Norm, coming to you from Vietnam in the city of Da Nang. And I have been here for almost a month. It's been an extremely transformative journey. I'm going to be putting this up on my Instagram page, my YouTube, and my Facebook. And it will be the first in a series of podcasts, providing there is an audience for it. So in my mind, I've been going over some questions people might have. I heard, or perhaps I read once, a suggestion that you shouldn't tell anyone your plans or your reasonings for your behaviors if you wouldn't take advice from them in life. And that made sense to me, except that I'm a firm believer that sharing is not going to change my plans. So I am opening myself up by being on this social stage with digital media, and that was a choice as well, which I'll be happy to elucidate for people if they are interested to hear more. But the main reason that I'm coming out here in voice is to share a little bit more about how I came to the decision at 47 years of age to be apart from my family and try to reinvent myself on the other side of the world. If you have been watching any of my reels on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, which Instagram and YouTube, you can find me by looking up Viet Norm, Vietnorm, and on Facebook it is Norman Logan Houle, and that is me. And you can see that I'm trying to share my adventures, and the reason I'm doing it is twofold. The first is because I would really enjoy to inspire others to look at life with some wonder and amazement, and that's reason number two, which ties into reason number one, is that I want to do that as well. I want to feel re-engaged and reinvigorated with this incredible universe that we all inhabit and have very much a right to be inhabitants of, considering we're part of it. But just feeling that frequency and resonance of the universe in a way that makes me feel positive of my thought processes, and strong. And what I mean by strength at this point is the ability to consider suffering or challenges and all of the emotional entanglement that come in with them, and be able to take a deep breath and realize that the storm always passes every time, and things will get better and the sun will come out again. And that really is something that I want to share with people, because I'm Canadian, and when I left Canada, my view of things had steadily declined to where I was focusing on negative energies, and it became became the way that my subconscious operated. Was I developed this morbid curiosity for negative news, and there's no shortage, in my opinion, of negative news in Canada. I'm pretty sure from the way that I looked at statements and comments that it seems to be in a lot of Western countries. As a general rule, I'm thinking that there are a lot of people, at least in the United States, that are disenfranchised with the way things are. I certainly heard that type of topic in Canada, and this by all means doesn't mean everyone. I'm just talking about these were prevalent thought processes that I would see pop up through a lot of the way that I was viewing the world. I invited that energy in and I sought it out. I understand that as well. I also observed that kind of thought process coming from the United Kingdom and areas in Europe. So if there is something that is in common there, people, talking about where things used to be and where things are at now, well, I really, really, really went a little bit too deep. I went deep to the point that it affected myself, but most importantly, the others around me, my family, friends, people I interacted with, and my currency or my currency as a professional, the way that I earn my money was built on my ability to give other people sustainable, high energy, very positive, uplifting energy, to make people feel positive even in negative situations, right? And really to give people that love frequency, which is reciprocal. When you give people love, you get it back. Whether or not that person gives it to you, then the universe always does. And I made a living at that. I spent decades building skills that would allow me to thrive in an environment of high pressure and high negativity, and learn to spin that on its head relatively quickly and solve problems for the most part for others. But I was losing the ability to do that and connect with myself and figure out how I was going to solve my problems. And as far as the love that I was given from the people closest to me, and my family, and the love I have for them, it didn't change that those things had affected me to such a great deal that it changed the way that I approached life and taking care of myself as a being. And it affected my spiritual and energetic health, which in turn caused my physical health to suffer. And it just snowballed from there. And it really started getting out of control. And this is going to sound very cliche, but it really, really started getting out of control once Canadian lockdown started in 2020. I went really, really deep down a lot of paths. I knew things weren't right. And I absolutely found out from study a lot of things that corroborated my gut feeling that things weren't right. But it only got so far as giving me ammunition if I was the type of person that wanted to argue or prove myself right. And even though I brought up a lot of points to people over the next few years, in the spirit of hoping that people would also be really interested in that and want to see a change because of that, I learned that that's not the way things work. It doesn't matter how much logical ammunition I have to go in to a conversation to say, but look at A, B, C, and D. It's quite clear to me, and it should be to you as well. And that's not how it works either. And I absolutely alienated some people that I'm very close with. But in saying that as well, the universe has ways of providing new paths for the river to do. I didn't physically hurt people, and I wasn't yelling and screaming at people, but I definitely was on shaky ground myself, and I didn't have a place to try to dictate to other people to change the way they live their life so that we could all go back to living in harmony. That was kind of what drove me for quite a while. The industry I worked in for 20 years is something that I still to this day can confidently say does not hold up to moral and ethical standards of a loving community. This is no judgment, because people do what people do, but I don't believe that industries like the one I was involved with would thrive to the extent they have if things were on a better resonance. And that kind of leads to where I'm at and where I'm going through these changes in my evolution and my awareness of my place in the universe, and things that help me to recognize, such as there is no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Whatever my thoughts are against it, it is always unfolding. It is infinite, and we are part of that. And things are happening as they should. And I spent a lot of time trying to dissect the injustices and the crimes that I could see and perceive, and the moral inadequacies of systems and governments and corporations and consumerism and materialism and all those things. But the way I was looking at it always led into dead ends, because it always created this feeling that the only recourse I had was to point a finger. And that's never going to work. It's just not going to change things. And so here I am in Vietnam, and I can share with you, and you can watch the videos that I put up. I decided that commentary wouldn't be the big part of my videos. It would just be, the visuals, and I like to mix music in with them too. A lot of feeling with the music. It's just creativity and just putting it out there. No different than making a statue or a painting. It's fun for me to do, and some people like them, and if it brings any kind of good feeling to another person, that's also really, really cool. But I like it, and it makes me feel good. So it's very therapeutic that way. I can tell you, the moment I got into the country, my entire vibrational frequency changed. I was able to do a complete 180 on all the damage. I can't say all. On the damage course I had set for my physical and mental self over the last few years, and do a fast and over 30 days, because I have actually been in Vietnam for about a month and a half. Over the first 30 days, through pretty focused and dedicated fasting. The climate here, you're sweating a lot. That helped as well. And I had the support of a really good friend. So I'm going to get into how I fasted, but I lost over 30 pounds in a month. A lot of it was expunging toxins and poisons that my body had taken in, and it was the right time to get it out, because I had been ignoring the calls of the universe to make the changes that were there for me to make. And once I was ready to commit to it, the universe had always been there saying, yeah, about time you caught up, Normie. It's time to get back on the bus. Lots of things to see. So I can get into the methods of my fast another time. I'm going to throw this out and kind of just canvas the listening audience, if there is any. If this is of any interest, there's a lot of topics that I can cover. People can suggest different topics to be covered. I'll get into generalizations about my background. I can get more into my professional career. Different flavors for different people. I'm not going to get too personal about things, other than me being very frank and open. I'll generalize some certain things, and I also want to convey the positivity about the alterations that I've made and am continuing to make, with a lot of support But the number one supporter is my relationship with the universe. So it's not just me. It's not like a mine thing. It's just every single one of us are children of the universe. And I see that as an empirical truth. We're no different than the moon, the trees, and the stars. And to quote the 1929 poem, Desiderata by Max Ehrmann, we have a right to be here, right? So that's a lot of the groundwork for what I'm standing on for myself, is that I have a right to be here. I have a right to exist. The pursuit of happiness is a phrase, and I don't know that it's going to be possible for me to achieve complete, utter happiness, like nirvana. But I'm definitely doing some work within the universe, my place within the universe, to be more receptive to signs, to being able to look at perceived defeats, hard times, fear, anxiety, as also signals and signs that as long as I can hold my ground and just kind of get through those periods of upheaval and disharmony, then I can look back and I can go, what was that all about? What was the message there? What was I missing that led me into that situation where it felt difficult? Because I'm still here, you know what I mean? And life is still happening, right? And it could be gone in a moment, you know what I mean? Like the universe could absorb me back into it right now. I don't have any power to change the time that is designated. But while I'm here, I'm trying to play around and do some things, have some fun. I'm using this microphone that my wife got me as a gift, with this program that I found out. I'm absolutely new at this, and it's raw, but I'm sharing from the heart. So this is going to be entitled Podcast 1 Vietnorm Introduction. And if people listen to it and there's something they want to hear, or they want to hear another one, I'm sure on the sites that I posted on that you could put that in the comments. I would be grateful. And if not, it's okay. You can click a button and turn it off. But in any case, wherever you are, wherever you're at, I hope it's good for you. And if not right now, I'm sure that it will be in time. So this is Vietnorm, and I'm Viet out. Until next time.